everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, August 11th, 2024. It never ceases to amaze me, Phyllis's ability to make it all about herself. She totally picked a fight with Diane on Friday. And thank you, Phyllis. I do appreciate it. But come on. What'd you think was going to happen? Well, in all fairness, Diane didn't miss a beat. She, first of all, could not help but going on and on about her and Jack's romantic bubble bath. Just picture that for a moment. But she was going on and on about their, romantic evening, trying to rub Phyllis's face in it. Oh, and that remark that she made about Danny and Christine finding their way back to each other. True love, like Danny and Christine. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Diane doesn't bite back all that often, but when she does, she really knows where to strike. She knows exactly how to attack where it's gonna hurt the most. And I'm sure that Phyllis, in her mind, thought that she was taking the high road by even approaching them at all. But she was not ever gonna just walk up to Diane and Jack's table and start talking about how Kyle is out of control and then expect them to not defend their son. Because even if they don't agree with his choices right now, they're not going to let you badmouth him. It was great, though. It was truly vicious and entertaining. But the thing is, when it comes to Phyllis, it doesn't really even feel to me like it's really about Summer and Harrison and their custody issue and their family issue. It feels like the Harrison custody issue for Phyllis is more about her own unresolved issues, about her custody battle that she lost all those years ago. She lost her custody battle and had her child taken away from her all those years ago. And I think she's trying to not let that happen again for her daughter. But it's not about you. It's not the same situation. And Phyllis's warnings to Summer feel more about her feelings of being burned by various people in Genoa City. I mean, what was Phyllis's warning to Summer about Victor wanting payback for helping her? What was that all about? Summer went to Victor, her grandfather, asking for help, which I agree is ridiculous, because Summer doesn't know that Victor is Kyle's employer. So why would she think that Victor would have any influence over Kyle Abbott? Okay. But payback? Victor's going to want payback for helping Summer? No, I sincerely doubt that Victor is going to be popping up anytime soon, making Summer an offer that she can't refuse. Plus, when Victor did talk to Kyle, he literally said, Harrison's happiness is more important than Glissad's success. Excuse me? Paging Victor Newman, where are you? Victor Newman? Harrison's happiness is more important than business success? Yeah, blah. Let me tell you, if I thought for a second that Victor actually meant that, I might also think that hell had just frozen over. So the Paris trip never happened. Well, for Kyle. Audra had to go ahead without Kyle and have a great time, I'm sure, without him breathing down her fabulous neck the whole way. I'm sure Audra was real happy to lose him in New York at the layover. But the real interesting thing here, I think, was how savvy Diane alerted Kyle just before the plane took off for Paris that Harrison ate some bad shrimp and got a stomach bug, and she let Kyle know immediately so that Kyle could, quit the trip and turn around and come home. I'm shocked that Harrison eats shrimp at all. This kid will not eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that Aunt Jordan offered to him, but he will down a bucket of shrimp like it's nobody's business. I don't know. Something about that just ain't right. So Kyle came home all revved up and ready to argue with Summer over it all, which is completely ridiculous. The kid got sick. So what? Guess what? That's what kids do. It's like the main thing that they do, actually. Kids are like one sickness after another. They get sick, and then as soon as they start to feel better, they get you sick. That's how it works. Surely you would know that by now. But Kyle and Summer managed to argue about it, and that was nothing new. I just thought it was new and interesting the way that Diane had curried a little bit of favor with Kyle over it. And she seemed rather pleased with herself too, because they went from Kyle being like, "I hate you, Mommy," to saying, "Well, at least someone in the family thought to include me." Nice work, Diane. Nice work. And oh, what a lovely first anniversary celebration that Jack and Diane had. I can't believe it's been a year. On the one hand, it seems like it was not that long ago that they got married, and then on the other hand, they seem like they could have been together forever. They're just so natural together. And yet, I do feel like their relationship still feels fresh and new. And like I still get a sense of puppy love between them. I loved that Jack filled the Abbott living room with all of her favorite flowers, he said. I never get enough of those floral arrangements. I always appreciate when there are flowers on the show. And there were so many delicious looking trays of food and drink. Mrs. Martinez really outdid herself. Yes. But Diane was no slouch on her end. Mrs. Martinez also helped Diane transform the bedroom into a boudoir. For the anniversary occasion. Can you really imagine that? Can you imagine having your job be to set up sexy time for Jack and Diane? Gross. Miss Martinez must be an angel, because I think that would be a bridge too far for me as a housekeeper or a cook or whatever. Like, you want me to bake cookies with the kid? Fine. But I am not setting up the sex swing for you, okay? I'm assuming that's what it was. All of that, Jack's brown bedroom and that old looking floral comforter and a sex swing in the corner. That's what I'm guessing. Oh, yeah, right. Jack is too traditional for that. I mean, this is the guy who, his anniversary gift to Diane was a printed paper copy of his vows to her. He's all romance. He's all about romance, not sex swings, Allie. That was very nice. But Diane's coupon book of love really takes the cake. Because first of all, I have to say, the whole homemade coupon book thing is so dorky. It is so grade school. It's so childish. But that coupon at the back of the book that Jack couldn't wait to redeem, I love that. To me, that was funny. And that's honestly one of the things that I love about Y&R. I think it is very subtle in its sexiness, which is just my speed. You know, I'm uncomfortable with anything blatant, but I love the implication. Like, it leaves me with just enough information that to drive me crazy, wondering like, oh, what is that thing that Jack loves to do with Diane so much that he has to use a coupon in order to get it? So this was the 1-year anniversary of Jack and Diane's marriage, but this was also the 1-year anniversary of Sally's miscarriage. So this was a really sad week for her, which made it a really sad couple of episodes for us. And gosh, looking back at those couple of flashbacks that we saw just reminded me of how good Courtney Hope was there and how devastating this was for Sally. And it's a shame that at first she didn't have anyone who she could share these feelings with. So much so that she kind of had to unload it on someone who's just a casual acquaintance, you know? I mean, I didn't really think that Billy and Sally were close enough for the amount of intimacy that we saw between them. But you know, at the same time, sometimes it's easier in a way to talk to a stranger or someone who doesn't know you as well. And it turns out Billy was the perfect person to empathize with Sally's grief over the loss of a child. That's something that Billy knows all about. I just wish that Sally felt like she could have talked to Adam about it right away. I wish she didn't feel like she had to hide it from him. You know, she should know that just because he's having his feelings about something separate, that it doesn't mean that she's not entitled to her feelings about this. And it's not his fault that she chose not to bring it up. That was her choice. But it is a shame that she felt like she couldn't. He actually discovered that little baby hat, you know, that little hat that they give you in the hospital. He found it in her purse. She'd been kind of holding on to it. And when he found it there, he confronted her about it. It was weird, though, because he, in a later scene, told Chelsea that he had forgotten all about it being the anniversary of Ava's death. But when Sally and Adam did end up getting around to talking about it, what he told Sally was that he had been thinking of it too, that he was aware that it was the anniversary, that the date wasn't lost on him, but that because everything else was going on, he just didn't want to focus on that grief on top of everything else. You know, people deal with grief in different ways. Not everybody wants to hold it in the front of their consciousness. So I don't know what's up with that. But ultimately, they were able to come together over it. And that was good. But it also, that moment of coming together over the grief that they shared also reminds me how much they've been through, and also makes the knowledge of him cheating on her and lying to her even more painful. But what I keep coming back to is Adam and Chelsea had this totally not premeditated moment of weakness together when they slept together. And it's not like they've both been seen pining over doing it again. Like, I don't get the sense that they're yearning for each other. I don't know. If I were getting the sense that Adam and Chelsea were wanting each other, even just physically wanting the sex, then it would be a different story for me. Because then it would be kind of an affair, I guess. But what this feels like is just one bad decision in one bad moment, and maybe it would be better to just learn from it and move on. But can Chelsea do that? Hell, can Billy do that? Because I have to say, great moment at the coffee house on Tuesday, where Adam and Billy ran into each other, and Billy was getting ready to go upstairs to see Chelsea and Connor, who is now back and dropped right into the middle of this big secret. Honestly, Connor is probably coping with his own issues now better than the parents are coping with their own issues now. But when Adam tried to warn Billy against going upstairs, like saying, Chelsea and Connor need to have some space, don't go up there and bother them, what Billy said was, okay, you know what? You warning me right now to stay away lights up in neon that something happened between you and Chelsea, which was more than just a blow up. Lights it up in neon. I love that line. I thought that was such a great moment. Lights it up in neon. But, really? I don't know. It's amazing to me that Billy is so sure about all of this. But you know what's going to happen here? Eventually, Billy is going to harangue this secret out of Chelsea. And then he's going to be stuck with the decision of whether or not to break Sally's heart, right? As he knows that she's grieving, he's going to find himself in the position of, oh, crap, should I keep the secret too? Or he could take it a step further, and this would be worse. But Billy, when he finds out, I'm assuming Chelsea's going to break first, and he's going to find out. And when Billy finds out, I think he is going to be so indignant. He is going to be so high and so mighty that he might just force Adam to tell Sally the truth, or threaten to do it for him. Everybody has an opinion on Billy these days. And they all want to tell Lily about it. And I can just totally see where Lily would have had it. Like, people, can I just get some work done here? Why do I have to be constantly justifying my business partner's existence? Business partner. And it's not like Lily put Billy in charge. Jill did. Lily's just there trying to get a job done. And Billy's being Billy, you know. He loves the flash stuff, you know. He's got his sense of showmanship. Like, he loves the logo and he loves the swag. But Lily has just had enough of it all this week. She had Devon and Victor and Nikki all coming to her to warn her that Billy is going to bring them both down. So she tells Billy, you need to just step down from Chancellor Abbott. With Victor gunning for us, you have become a liability, and if you care about this company, you need to just get out of it. And surprisingly, Billy agreed, sorta. He agreed to publicly step down, but to remain a silent partner, which is kind of a laugh because it's like, Billy, silent? I don't know how long that's gonna last. But I'm really not even sure that it's gonna get that far. Because apparently, if Billy's gonna step down, we need to make sure that he doesn't look bad in the process. We don't want the public to see him looking bad in the process. So we have to come up with something to tell the press about why he's stepping back. And Billy's idea is to use Jill's health as an excuse. Do you really think she's gonna go for that? After everything? After you voted against her wishes and split up her company? No, I don't think so. I think that Billy is going to go to Jill and pitch this idea, and I think he's going to find out that Jill is already one step ahead of him. I think Jill's going to say, well, there's really no need to protect the company from Victor because I'm selling it to him. So this week was the 1-year anniversary of Jack and Diane's wedding, the 1-year anniversary of Ava's death, and we also had a one marriage proposal. This has been a busy week. Anniversaries, deaths, and engagements. 2 anniversaries and a proposal. Well, we got a proposal before, but it was a proper proposal this time. And I really liked that Devon realized that he hadn't done the proposal right before. And so he went out of his way to do it right. He had to get it done right. And as soon as I saw what was happening, I thought to myself, gone are the days of the splashy, expensive, extravagant, romantic engagement gesture. Like, these days, the Genoa City women want intimate and meaningful, like a picnic in a park. Which is very cute. It's just a different shift from what I was sort of expecting from one of the town billionaires. But it was cute. He did have golden covered platters. I'm sure he sprung for the real gold. I'm sure it wasn't fake. And each of the platters revealed all of Dom's favorite dishes. PB&J. Dom eats PB&J. Dom's the son of a billionaire, and he eats PB&J. Plus cheese sandwiches and crudité. Dom loves crudité. And, of course, let us not forget dessert. For desserts, sugar cookies. Custom frosted frosted sugar cookies that spelled out, "Will you marry me?" question mark. With a big fat ring right in the middle of the cookie display. Now, I have to ask you guys, how do we feel about gemstone center stones? How do we feel about that sapphire? Because I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't come at me without a diamond. I'm old-fashioned. But actually, the main reason is if I had the blue engagement ring, I would be like, blue doesn't go with everything. It would drive me crazy on a daily basis to try to be picking my outfit to make sure it went with my big old ring that I gotta wear every day. I had a friend 25 years ago who got engaged, and the guy picked a ring with a sapphire center stone, and I was quietly like, what? Sapphire? There was diamonds on the side, but I remember, again, this is like, what age is this? 19. This is like 99, and I'm like, what? Sapphire? So I don't know. I would love to hear from some folks out there who have or want non-diamond center stones. Please speak out this week. Tell me how much you love it, because it is different, it is unique, it is non-traditional, and so I can be convinced. But Devon seemed a little concerned about it, because even after the engagement was over, after she said yes and everything kind of settled down, he goes, "Well, do you like it?" I would imagine that would be a little stressful for a guy, going and picking out the ring. Because if she don't like it, then you're in trouble. Better keep your receipt. But Devon was ready to justify it. He had his pitch ready. He said, "Blue sapphire represents trust and devotion and faith." And I thought, okay, if you say so. These things are important. The ring. But we have the most important thing, which is the date, sort of. We have a date-ish. November. We have a month. A November wedding. A fall wedding. Y&R loves a fall wedding. And I do too. Unfortunately, it will be too cold in November to have Abby ride down the aisle naked on a horse. Oh my gosh, I loved that he suggested that. It was hilarious. And also hilarious, I loved how sincerely, like with complete sincerity, Abby suggested having owls deliver the rings at the ceremony down to the altar. And I thought, I guess that's where the extravagance kicked in, because I just thought, owls? Are you kidding me? What kind of lunatic is so wrapped up in their wedding ceremony that they came up with the idea of training owls to be wing bearers? What? I was so impressed with Brighton James's delivery of that pun, because it made me laugh out loud, and no doubt it was part of the script, and yet he delivered it like he just thought of it on the spot. Lucy is so cringy. Cringy Lucy. Blah. It's painful. Because, of course, I'm thinking back to myself at 15 years old, and I am sure that I had some pretty cringe-worthy moments, too. I don't think it was exactly this, in this area, but I'm sure I had some cringe moments. And watching her this week just It was hard because I was watching from Faith's perspective, but I was also watching from Lucy's perspective and also from Heather's perspective, and especially Heather's perspective because Mom is my current biggest role. And I really empathized with Heather getting in there and thinking she was going to control the situation, like ready to just buy some more concert tickets so that she and Daniel could go too and keep an eye on their daughter. And then Heather also, when this concert was sold out, she had a moment alone talking to Daniel and got filled in on the complete situation. And she learned that Lucy had lied in order to impress Faith. And then Heather had all of these great moments where she was just trying to accept this new stage that Lucy is in. Lucy is desperate and clingy. And Faith even told Sharon that before the concert, that she seems a little obsessed with her, and she kind of regretted agreeing to go. And then at the concert, Lucy was feeling totally uncomfortable in her own skin. She was grasping for something that I think would make her feel cool enough. And so she takes a couple swigs out of what looked like a disposable flask of vodka, and Faith goes away, and suddenly she's like drinking out of a plastic flask filled with vodka. First of all, I thought, oh no, not vodka. That's Nikki's drink of choice. Don't do it. Don't do it, Lucy. But she did it. And then she got all stumbly, and Faith freaked out and yanked Lucy out of the concert, took her back to Sharon's house, and called Daniel to pick her up. Now, interestingly, Faith chose not to bust Lucy out to Daniel. That was for Lucy to confess later. And I felt, we didn't see much of that, but I felt bad because Daniel, the look on his face was just absolute disbelief, just innocent disbelief. She goes, Dad, I drank. And he goes, what? I mean, just like, huh? Like, no, not my daughter. We had a talk about this. So, you know, of course you obeyed me. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that turns out. I'm kind of annoyed that we didn't get it. In fact, not only that, but didn't Daniel have a conversation with Lily after that? We got the Lucy conversation completely cut off, and then Daniel popped up a couple days later in a conversation with Lily. So I guess we're not going to get that conversation. That's disappointing. But Faith did tell Sharon what had happened, and that really seemed to, of course, hit Sharon right in her sore spot. She's been deeply grieving Cassie's death at the, at the hands of this whole teenage wasteland, and she's got Cameron Kirsten in her head. I'm putting Cameron Kirsten in quotes there because the truly interesting thing about that whole phenomenon is that Sharon is the one who's conjuring him, and she seems to be conjuring him for a reason. And they've been talking that through, and he was theorizing that the reason he's there is because Sharon was able to save Faith from him, but she wasn't able to save Cassie from her fate. So I guess the question is, will Sharon now feel compelled to try to save Lucy from that same fate? And will that require her working with Phyllis to set Phyllis's granddaughter and Daniel's daughter to set Lucy straight somehow? The game is on. Let the excitement begin. That was not my best Victor Newman impression. The game is on. Let the excitement begin. I don't know. But as you can guess, that was last week's quote, and it was Victor who said it. He was talking to Nick about the whole Chancellor Abbott takeover thing. He said it pretty deadpan. It wasn't like, let the excitement begin. It was just, let the excitement begin. Well, congratulations to Paris, Henry, Justin, Dolores, Brittany, Lara, there you are, Tanya, Diana, and Daisy, who is on a heck of a streak with the Who Said It quotes here, too. Let's see if you can do it again. Here's your quote for the week. We all keep secrets, sometimes with the best intentions. We all keep secrets, sometimes with the best intentions. Well, who would have said that? If you think that you know, you should go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, then I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Birthdays. Well, I just have one birthday this week, but it feels like maybe August is birthday month. August 16th is Dolores's birthday. Happy birthday, Dolores. I mean, you just fit right in here. I feel like you've been here forever, and you're just such, your comments are always so good. So I want to say happy birthday to you, and I'm going to start out with one of your comments. Dolores says, are you surprised? I'm not at all with the Lily we're being introduced to lately. For quite some time, Lily has been showing us that she is not to be underestimated and a force to be reckoned with. Lily did surprise me this time when she confronted Billy, telling him that the change will need to be made is for him leaving Chancellor, not her. Wow. Surprise, surprise, surprise. And this time I didn't see that coming, and most of all, neither did Billy. I wonder if this bag of tricks was kept hidden by Lily with the blessing of Jill, and if Victor and Nikki think they will have a smooth takeover of Chancellor, keeping Lily on board at their whim or control. It appears they need to rethink their plans. Lily is an unknown entity, and I'm loving her more and more. Loving this girl power. Yeah, I mean, Lily knows what she's fighting for, and she seems like she's gonna get it one way or another. T. Nicole says, I hate to break it to you, Devon, but I think Billy will be a guest at your wedding because he's part of the Abbott family and Abby's uncle. Yeah, Devon is so grump with Billy, and he's gonna have to send him an invitation. I have an idea. Why don't you just send the invitations by owl? All the guests to the November wedding get an owl, a wing delivered invitation. Why not? Well, you know, Diana says, I can't help but find that Devon and Lily are being hypocrites when they consistently talk about how Billy is destined to fail, just as he always does. Yes, Billy has made some bad choices, but bottom line is that Devon and Lily are not any better than Billy, and Billy deserves a second chance at proving himself to everyone else. Yeah, I kind of edited that comment a little bit, but because I love it in essence. It's just like, yeah, doesn't Billy deserve his chance, his second chance? Everybody's always clamoring about second, third, fourth, fifth chances, and you know, I mean, why not give it to him? He hasn't done anything, I don't know, terrible this time around. He's kind of wanting what he wants. He needs to start his own company. He really does. Well, here is some juicy gossip right here coming from Henry, who says, is it me, or does anyone else feel that Devon is lousy in his kissing scenes with Abby? He just, in my opinion, has an awkward technique, if you will. Oh my goodness. OMG! Are you telling me that Devon is a bad kisser? I had not noticed. But now I have got to see it. I got to go back and rewatch some scenes. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have my eye on this. Wow. That is scandalous. So curious to know if anybody else feels that way. I'm also curious to know for this week's poll question, are you guys excited about the Devon and Abby wedding? I mean, does this whole engagement and the prospect of their November wedding make you go yay? Or are you feeling kind of meh about it all? Go to yrchat.com this week and let me know how you're feeling about Abby and Devon. Is the spark there? Are you excited? Are you ready for this? Here's what I'm ready for. Connie says, fashion shout out. Off the shoulder wins for Summer's blue jean outfit and Abby's pink dress with pleats. The clothes are beautiful, but they also define the character's mood and set the scene. Abby is definitely dressed for a romantic proposal of marriage. Oh my goodness, the second I saw her in that pink dress, I was like, what? Hang on a second. I gotta get a look at this. And that denim dress that Summer was wearing, I was dying. I mean, I was sort of like a little sort of like not fully engaged on Friday. I was not into the show yet. And then she showed up, well, I don't know, it was Thursday or Friday, but then I saw the denim dress and suddenly like my eyes did this blinky thing and I had to get all close up on the screen and suddenly I was completely in it. I love that denim dress so much. I looked real hard in my closet this week to see if I could have anything that even vaguely resembled a denim shirt, and I don't, because I really wanted to wear that this week, because I'm in love with it. She looked so good, and it was, like you said, off the shoulder. I almost kind of wish, she could have pulled off a jumpsuit, but it was a long skirt, and it looked so good on her. I always love Summer's fashion, and Abby. They're the two best dressed ladies on the show, I think. Okay. Kamna says, as horrible and heart-wrenching as the impending custody battle may be, I'm really enjoying Kyle and Summer's scenes. The two actors really play off each other so well, and they are so believable. I'm really hoping all of this leads to a reunion in 2025, but not before Kyle hooks up with Claire and then breaks her heart, and then Claire can lose her doe-eyed innocence and toughen up. Wow, is anybody else thinking that this is going to lead to a reunion for Kyle and Summer? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Well, Diana says, I am sorry to all of the Claire fans, but I can't help but find her character to be rather irritating. One thing that bothers me is whenever Kyle and Summer are having an argument, Claire just stands there and watches. Boom, Diana. Yes. I will say I agree with that 100%. Claire's job is Harrison. And she definitely needs to start leaving the room when Kyle and Summer are alone having an argument or a conversation or whatever. I am surprised that Summer doesn't ask her to leave the private conversation. Like, if Harrison's not there, why are you there? And I will also say the number of times that Claire has sent Harrison out of the room to go, like, make cookies or get cookies or whatever with Mrs. Martinez has risen to 2. The count is now 2 times that I've counted that she has sent Harrison out to Miss Martinez, which proves to me that Claire is less of a nanny and more of a girlfriend at this point. Truth. Connie says, details matter. No one gives a child dairy ice cream with or without sprinkles the day after he's been sick with food poisoning. No doubt, Connie. No freaking doubt. I was like, ice cream? After puking shrimp? No thanks. Well, you know who is waiting in the wings to get Harrison all pigged out on ice cream? Audra. Not. Not. Next week in the previews, for some reason, Summer thinks it's okay to give Kyle an ultimatum and tell him that he needs to cut Audra out of his life. Gary says, yes, Summer, Audra is just dying to step in and be a mother to your son, Harrison Locke. Who else has observed this? And Victoria says, Audra would prefer to warm her nest with a big paycheck and notoriety. Yes! Audra don't give two craps about Harrison. She's no threat to you in the mother department. What makes you think that you could just tell Kyle to cut her out? It doesn't have anything to do with you or the custody at all. You can't tell Kyle who to work with. He's not even calling the shots. He's not even the owner of the company. He doesn't control who gets what position that's his same level. Whatever. That better have some more to it. She better have something to back up that request. Why don't you, and if Victor so-called fixed it, made everything better with his magic wand after talking to Kyle once, then you should consider yourself lucky at that. Don't go asking for more. Whatever. Well, let's talk about Phyllis and Diane. Gary says, rarely does someone like Diane have the late opportunity to get it all out, as she was able to do with Phyllis today. When Jack said to Diane, that was appalling, I was thinking to myself, he better not be referring to Diane, and he wasn't. I gotta pause there because I was thinking the same thing. When he said that was appalling, I was waiting for him to say, no, I mean you, and he didn't, and I was so glad. Continuing. Everybody tries to put Diane in the position of defending herself so that they can say, see, she hasn't changed. She's spiteful. But Diane remains on top and true to the new vision she has for herself. Phyllis is on this new kick of wanting her recent bad past to go away and to infiltrate herself into her towny friend lives like Faith, Sharon, Jack, and Diane. But you must do and complete your community service before you will truly be able to make right with your community and begin anew. What's the name of your parole officer, by the way? I do love Gary, yes, when it's like, Phil, but what I enjoyed about that scene mostly was that, Phyllis can go on about what a bad mother Diane is and faking her death and all that, but then Diane can do this exact same thing and come back at Phyllis. Well, you're a bad mother and you fake your own death. Like, the two women are almost so similar, and yet I do buy Diane making the change. I mean, does she still have little devilish moments about her? Yes. Is she still capable of manipulating? Yes. Does she still manipulate? Yes, but minorly. Phyllis is always Phyllis. She's stalwart about it, and I like that about her as a character. But it's just the similarities and differences between those two characters are fascinating. Naomi says Phyllis is evolving, or maybe she's just letting her guard down. She's always had a big heart for those that she trusts and loves. She just doesn't trust most people, and for good reason. Men leave her, women judge her. Granted, she brings much of this onto herself, but nevertheless, she's got trust issues. Yes, yeah. I mean, everybody's got a perspective, and I think Phyllis believes that she's transformed, and maybe that's the bigger victory. Oh, Connie says, FYI, Danny and Cricket are appearing on The Bold and the Beautiful next week. And the sneak peek showed Danny singing. Ooh! So, guys, don't let me forget. Would you happen to know what day it is? Because I'll be sure to go and tune into that on my Paramount Plus. Well, Dolores says Lucy confessed. Now, Daniel, how are you going to handle this? And how does the past memories of your mistake with alcohol that led to a grievous error and Cassie's death affect your decision regarding this matter? Will you do what is needed to save your little girl? I'm staying tuned. You know, I mean, I am too, and I'm disappointed that we didn't get to see that full conversation. Tina Cole says, I am proud of Lucy for deciding that she should tell the truth to Daniel. Of course, it was wrong of her to sneak and drink alcohol, but many kids would not tell their parents. And she did the brave thing to say she messed up and did something wrong. Also, I'm proud of Faith for standing her ground and letting Lucy out of the concert and telling Sharon that Lucy drank. Yeah, you know, this has turned out to be very good. Man, I guess I was just, you know, you're right. Lucy did the right thing by telling. Faith did the right thing by telling. I want to know what Daniel's reaction was, and I'm disappointed that I didn't get it. But Gary's disappointed for another reason, saying, is there anybody out there as surprised as I by the non-event dud of the U2 concert yesterday? Let me say up front that I am certainly glad that nobody got hurt, but rideshare? Really? Is this a soap? I thought this was to be a vehicle for Sharon as the girl's mode of transportation hit a tree, spiraling her completely out of control, but nothing. Just a safe early return. And such buildup. But was that a public service message for smart teens? Well, I'm happy with it, but Y&R, what's up for this dynamic duo, or has Faith already had her fill? You know what? They took a ride share. That is so modern. I mean, they all did. You know what? You make a great point. We were waiting for the teen to make the bad decision, which then has the consequence and then has the dramatic, you know, the fallout. But what we got was everybody making the right decision, and that is kind of different. In a way, it's kind of good too. U2 concerts. Oh, that's funny. All right, Gary also says, when Connor wanted to know what Chelsea felt guilty about, she made the perfect casual leap to, oh, honey, it's a work thing. Too bad she couldn't have made the same transition when the nosy Billy went snooping. Oh, I love this point. I just think that's really astute, because it's like, you know, hiding it from Connor, no problem for Chelsea. Hiding it from Billy, breakdown. Worried about being a bad mother? Nah, not really. Worried about being a bad girlfriend? Breakdown. All right, let me bebop over to our poll question from last week, where I asked you guys how you're currently watching Y&R. Majority of people just seem to be watching on DVR, just at their you know, what, cable box or whatever, followed by Paramount Plus. And that's how I watch too. I love that Paramount Plus. It's not cheap, and I don't like that. And I wish that it aired earlier. But it is nice to have. I do appreciate my Paramount Plus. Third place vote was other, and mostly that was just folks saying that they watch it in a couple of different ways. Live broadcast, followed by live broadcast, and then the fewest amount of people watched at CBS.com. Oh, but okay, Lara says, I watch with the Global app in Canada on my phone. I like to have it on while I'm practicing scales or taking a bath. Oh, I totally forgot about Global. I'm sorry, Canadians. Duh. Yes. Global also airs that for Canada. And Marianne V says, I watch Y&R mostly on Paramount Plus, but I do record it on Optimum and watch it live if I'm home, but then, but there are interruptions or political or otherwise all the time, so it's good to have Paramount Plus, but you can't watch it on Paramount Plus until 5:30, but it's good for after work viewing. Oh, are they still preempting a lot on the live broadcast? Do you get a lot of news preemptions? That was one of the things that was just always so frustrating to me about the live broadcast, is it's like, oh, you're watching it and then it comes in and I'm like, come on, I've got my priorities and it's Y&R. Paramount Plus, I don't get any of that. But as you say, Marianne V, it doesn't come out till 5:30. Why is that? If you're paying the premium for Paramount Plus, why can't you post my episode a little earlier? Oh, well. Well, actually, I'm going to end up with this comment from Connie, because she says it's kind of off topic, but I thought as I was watching Y&R today and folding laundry that Sally and Diane failed at folding today. I'm wondering if it's the multiple takes they did, or they can't edit better, or the acting does not require real life skills, but blankets and table runners are basic folding, unlike a fitted sheet. So this is fantastic, Connie. You were folding laundry, watching Y&R, and then seeing Diane try to fold a table runner and Sally try to fold a blanket, and it just was not working out. Did I get that right, or was it backwards? I remember that. I can't remember who folded what, but they both had folding fails. That is hilarious. And also, it reminds me that I really, last week I asked you guys where you watch Y&R. I really should watch you. What do you do while you watch Y&R? I mean, are you totally glued to your screen, or are you like Connie, multitasking, doing a little folding? Or Lara said she takes a bath or practices scales. So it's like, what do you like to do while you're watching Y&R, if anything? So if you want to tell me that this week, that'd be kind of fun to know. Y'all know some things never change. Every night watch Y&R when I get out of the shower while I'm letting my hair dry. Okay, everybody. That is a Y&R chat. Feeling much more comfortable this week. I'm really very comfortable this week. Gee, changing this chair really helped a lot, and pushing the camera and the mic back. I'm not as happy with the audio quality on the podcast. I did hear a couple people say it was fine, but I don't know, it wasn't as good to me, so that does kind of bother me, but I'm gonna keep fiddling with it and seeing if I can make it any better. But I have to say, my comfort level is like double better. And I think it was Sharon W. who also suggested maybe having a heating pad to help with the hip issues while I'm in here, and that is a fantastic idea. I love my heating pad. I use it every morning because I'm cold in the morning, and that helps heat me up, but I didn't even think about bringing it in here while I'm doing Y&R chat. I love that, especially for the winter. I might melt in the summer, but in the winter, that sounds like a good way to make my hips all warm and cozy and toasty. My whole back and everything. Okay. So, yrchat.com, that's where all the stuff is. And then wherever you are now, just come back to that place, exact same place, next Sunday, and we'll do this again. Okay? I love you guys, and I will see you next Sunday. Bye!